All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video, and today we got some good news today. One of my favorite players, Tyrell Davis, is coming back to Georgia Southern as a defensive back coach. I watched this kid ever since he was at Georgia Southern back in 2021. I thought he was going to be one of the standout kids. He has the numbers to prove it, and unfortunately, he had to finish his season not on the best of terms because of his injury, but he managed to get himself back on with the program as a defensive back coach, and I'm extremely happy for what he's bringing to the table and what he can do. And I think that this is a really good move for Coach Clay Helton. So let's talk about what this guy is bringing to the table, who he is, and what he's done. And I just think this is absolutely fantastic. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations for you getting the opportunity to be on the staff, and I hope that he's able to be in the position to make the most of this opportunity, because I think that this kid can go very far with the position he's in. So enough of me rambling. Let's talk about it. Tyrell Davis is a former Georgia Southern Eagle. He played safety at Georgia Southern from 2021 to 2024. Had some fantastic numbers in the season that he actually played full time. And I thought that, he was going to be one of those rising stars. Let's look at some of the stats. I'm going to talk about him here. In 2021, as a freshman coming in, 29 total tackles, 1 interception, couple of tackles, assists, 20 total solo tackles, 1 pass deflection, 9 assisted tackles. As a freshman, you can't ask for more than that. A guy coming in, right? Did great things. Sat out the 2022 season. I think that was more of a transitional year when, the Coach Clay Helton, arrival, Coach Chad Lunsford actually was moving on, and he was a holdover from the Lunsford era. And that following year in 2023, this is where he really took off. 65 total tackles, 36 of them were solo, 29 assisted, 3 passes that was defended, 1 touchdown off of a pick six, 1 touchdown. 1 interception. And you can't ask for more for a guy that's, once again, ascending, finding a way to adapt to another coach's philosophy, coming in and making the most of it, basically doubling, in some cases tripling his production as that season progressed. And he came in as the season came to progress. And like I said, 2024 comes in, and this is where I thought he really was going to take off. 5 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 2 assisted tackles, and 1 interception. Now, this was in 2 games. The 1 interception he got against Boise State. I think he got it against Boise State. And the 5 tackles, the 3 solos, and the 2 assists, all that was against Nevada. Unfortunately, that was the game that he got injured. And for the most part, he did not see the football field again due to his injury. Very, very unfortunate. I made a video about him, as much as I really was a little bit down about it, but I kind of made a video tributing to him, because he was one of those guys, even from another coaching era, came into the Coach Clay Helton era and actually was extremely productive. I mean, you don't see that in college football. It's very rare. Usually when guys have an opportunity to stay with the new coach, you usually have a situation where these guys decide to transfer out, or they're not as productive. They just, their coach is their coach. But this guy, with the athletic ability and the talent that he has, was put on display to where, if he did not get injured, you got to understand, he had 5 tackles within 2 games. He could have been at least at the point where he was in 2023, if not better. It was one of those situations where I thought that he was going to be one of the top players that could have done great things on the field. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now, let's fast forward. What happened after that when he left? He ended up leaving, and he went to Georgia Military College as a defensive back player's assistant. And I was like, okay, he's getting an opportunity to do something that he loves, still be a part of coaching, or a part of football through coaching. And, and there was some rumblings about him possibly coming back to Georgia Southern. That was one of the hopes, that he was be able to come back as a player, as a coach. And his dream came through. It came true, where he was able to end up being on the staff. He got a couple other players that actually is on the staff, as well as, based on the website saying defensive assistant or offensive assistant, You got other players that I'm rooting for as well, like David Dallas. You had Khalil Crowder as well. So you have some guys that are here that was on the field for Georgia Southern. They're actually on the sidelines now, and that's absolutely great. So as far as Tyrell Davis goes, there's other rumblings that's going around what he's doing on as in the staff. Some people saying he's a defensive assistant. Some people saying he's a nickelback coach. It's a little bit all over the place. Personally, I do not care. As long as he's in the fold with the staff, I'm all for it. I think he has a very good and very bright future as in the as a coach in this position, and I'm rooting for him. The only advice I could tell him, and this is a guy just on this that's at home rooting for the Eagles with a microphone, and I'm pretty sure he knows this. But my advice to him is get as much information as you can as far as being in this position. Learn as much as you can and take that learning experience and put it in your own style to try to uplift and make it to the next level of whatever coaching you can make it to. Look, you start off as a defensive back assistant or a nickel back coach. You can end up being, a defensive coordinator or something like that. Or you can end up going even further. Or you can just continue to move around and get as much knowledge as you can, because of the fact that you can't and you're not able to play at the on the field, you can still contribute and make other kids' dreams come true, showing the knowledge that you have, putting those guys in the best position of based on what you know how to play the sport, having those kids to implement what they know and what they're learning, and you can see the fruition of your manifestation or your fruition of what you're implementing to these kids for them to be great. I wish nothing but the best for you. I'm going to definitely be rooting for you. This is just another reason that makes me want to go back to Georgia Southern to see some more of their games. It looks like this team is forming into something that's going to be really special this year with all the transfers coming in, the recruits that we got, and even with the talent that we already had. It looks like this could be a very successful season. And when you have guys like Tyrell Davis, a guy like David Dallas, or even, Khalil Crowder, and another person I want to make a video on is this guy right here, Prather Hudson. I am really interested in see what he can do as well as a safeties coach and what him and Tyrell Davis can do together as far as being a coach of that defensive backfield. That's going to be really interesting to see, because a guy like Prather, he has a pretty good background of where he's been in some schools that he's been to. Like I said, I want to talk about him in another video, because that is very important and something that's not talked about at all, about what he can bring to the table. And you got a guy like, Davis that's coming in. It's going to be really interesting to see what he can learn from Hudson as well. At the end of the day, this is a really big deal when it comes to what we're trying to do defensively. And I haven't even talked about Coach Mike Moots. I mean, what can he learn from Coach Moots? I mean, all of this is just falling into place very, very well. I am extremely excited about this. Once again, congratulations to Tyrell Davis. Man, I'm 100% rooting for you. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I mean, this is actually fantastic. I can go on about this, but I got other things I got to do. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the rest of your day. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to get out of here. And I'm really happy. I'm really ecstatic about this. This is really awesome. I'm really happy about this. You guys take it easy and you guys be blessed. Peace.